Brian said, I think what I wanted to do today really was talk about innovation, what it means for us in Starbucks, but in a slightly different way. Perhaps the simple brief might tighten up next year after they've seen my presentation. So basically, just a quick thing about Starbucks. I think everybody knows Starbucks. If you don't, there are many around here, and I can take you to one after without a problem. Myself, I've been at Starbucks about 7 years, a couple of years in Seattle in the headquarters, and 5 years here in the region. Prior to that, I worked at Accenture for 7 years and a couple of years at Oracle. So what I wanted to do then was to talk about innovation. And firstly, I guess my main goal was to make sure we're, aligned on what do we mean by innovation. I think it means a lot of things to different people. So I put a definition up there. It's not my definition, but I think it's a definition that I like. And that is, technology innovation in an enterprise involves using technology in new ways to create a more efficient organization and improve alignment between technology initiatives and business goals. And I like this really for two reasons. First one is that technology, and particularly in innovation, should do something to benefit the organization. I mean, I think we've heard today about things already around doing something to meet a business need, and I think we'll hear more about that later in other presentations. So innovation in itself is not just there just to have fun or just because it's sexy. It needs to meet a business goal. And secondly, it needs to solve a problem. I think as well, when you look at technology, technology is there to solve a problem and to help organizations do things better. And when it relates to technology innovation as well, again, I think we should be doing things that helps to solve a problem. Now, the Lego movie, how does that help us? Here is the synopsis of the Lego movie. An ordinary guy named Emmett is mistaken as being the master builder, the one who can save the universe with the aid of an old mystic, Vitruvius, a tough young lady named Lucy, Batman. Emmett will fight to defeat the evil tyrant Lord Business, who is bent on destroying the universe by gluing it together. Clearly no obvious link to innovation, but I will do my best.
Step 1, breathe. Okay, got that one. Step 4, shower. And always be sure to keep the soap out of your ass. Shave your face, brush your teeth, comb your hair. Haha, compliments. Hey, you look nice. So do you. Drink overpriced coffee.
There you go. That's $37.
Awesome.
Not sure where they got that reference from. But my first point then really is that much as Emmett goes through his life with his instructions, his steps through life, innovation is the same. It's not an activity that you just do once and pass on. Innovation needs a set of processes around it, just like many other technology processes. And so you'll come from an ideation stage, you then may go into a test and a reiteration. You'll never find that your first idea is the one that ends up in the market. So from this perspective, I think you need to have a process around innovation. And at Starbucks, that's one thing that we do quite well, is making sure that from an innovation perspective, we always have a view on what's innovative, what should we look at, where we're going to go to next, and having a process around that rather than just having someone come up with ideas, because often those ideas will sound good and then they'll kind of just drop away. So ensuring that you've got a process around it would be my first point.
Move that we freeze the universe. Can I get a second on that?
I second. Bruce Wayne, CEO of Wayne Enterprises.
Bruce Wayne? Who's that? Sounds like a cool guy. We'd like to invest in your company. Your weapon to control the universe sounds super sweet, I must say.
It is indeed super sweet.
Cool. What kind of sound system does it have?
Sound system. Well, I mean, we have an iPod Shuffle.
Wait a second. You're telling me that you have a machine to control the universe and you can't listen to tunes in surround sound?
Embarrassing.
So next one. Stay with me here. So next one. Listen to your customers and employees. So at Starbucks, we have around 300,000 employees around the world. We serve about 60 million customers a week in our stores. And from a point of view of in the back office, we probably have about 10 to 20,000 people in the back office. It would be wrong of us to think that just those 10 to 20,000 people that help run the business know most about what's right for our customers or what's right for our employees. So About 3 years ago, we set up a site called My Starbucks Ideas, and what it asks for really is from customers, from employees, to just submit their ideas to us. So the point is really listening to your customers and your employees around innovation is an area that will give you great benefits. We've launched probably about 400 to 500 ideas from the website that have come from, as I say, customers and employees. Again, even if you're doing innovation in your organization, if you have 500 or 1,000 IT folks in your organization, that's still a very small group of people to focus on perhaps innovation. So I think that the message is there, kind of get as much information and as much knowledge from outside of your organization, from your customers, employees as possible.
Wait, listen. Guys, you're all so talented and imaginative, but you can't work together as a team. I'm just a construction worker. But when I had a plan and we were all working together, I mean, we could build a skyscraper. Now, you're master builders. Just imagine what could happen if you did that. You could save the universe.
This one's probably quite easy to get. So, again, when you look at innovation, one of the things that you'll need to do is work a lot with various business functions, whether that's for sponsorship, whether that's for testing ideas. In the retail space, it's for putting ideas into a store. Obviously, that impacts customers, that impacts employees, it can impact the supply chain, etc. So ensuring that you have a good relationship with your business, whether that's to, as I say, help you through the process or to help you with the kind of testing and iteration of the innovation is also key. I think we'll talk a little bit later about sponsorship, but as well, I think going to your business organizations with a partner, whether that's something for marketing perhaps, something for supply chain, whatever the case may be, also helps you in getting sponsorship and particularly funding as well if you need funding for your initiative.
I'm not hearing a lot of activity here.
I don't think he's ever had an original thought in his life.
That's not true. For instance, one time I wanted to have a bunch of my friends over to watch TV, not unlike this TV that just showed up magically. And not everybody can fit on my one couch. And I thought to myself, well, what if there was such a thing as a bunk bed, but as a couch? Introducing the double-decker couch. So everyone could watch TV together and be buddies.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Please, Wildstyle, let me handle this. That idea is just the worst.
Again, probably an easy one. Your first idea will lead to a better one. Again, you may not think the double-decker couch is a winner. Probably it isn't. Or it might be, for those of you that have seen the movie. But your first idea, as we mentioned earlier, if you've got a process around that, will probably mean that your idea will iterate over time. I think when I look at the stuff that we've done in Starbucks, very few ideas are in the same inclination as they were from day one. It's iterated over time. So, for example, when we look at our stores, power in our stores has always been an issue for us, for our customers. People will come in, obviously, wanting initially to charge their laptops, to work on their laptops, and latterly it's kind of into mobile phones, etc. And so, our initial solution was obviously to put a lot more power sockets in our stores. We're now, as time evolves, technology evolves, we're now looking at wireless charging, and wireless charging is now being rolled out in our stores, embedded into the tables so that customers can charge up currently their smartphones, but I think as technology evolves, I'm sure there'll be other devices that will go through that same piece. So just making sure that as you go through your ideation stage, you'll have a lot of ideas and many of them will get discounted, but if you have a process to build upon it, then you'll come up with some better ideas as you go through.
I have a drive on.
Who are you here to see?
I'm here to see your butt.
Is that last name Bud, first name yours? Oh my gosh!
Pow. Wham. Kazap. First try.
Apologies for the language there. Again, so in case you're not Batman, then one of the things that you need to do is experiment and test. Again, as we go through our idea stage, getting the innovation out into a store in our case, that may only be one store. We do a lot of tests just in one store or in a particular district, which may be up to kind of 8 stores. But experimenting in test, I think it helps, certainly with other functions. Often when when you talk to the business about innovation or something in technology, you can be probably quite clear about what you think it means to you, but it's probably very difficult from a business perspective to kind of translate that and what that means to the business. And so getting it out into a store is key for us in proving out to the business that it's a good idea. Obviously, because it may not be a good idea, which is fine. But without it getting into a test environment and experimenting and perhaps iterating that idea, we'll never know.
Hey, just tell me exactly what to do and how to do it.
Emmett, don't worry about what the others are doing. You must embrace what is special about you.
Do you want to sit down and talk about it?
What the heck is that?
It's a double-decker couch, which seemed like a good idea at the time.
Slight tenuous link here, but what I'm trying to get to here is making sure that you're solving the right problem. I think when the business comes to you with an idea or a problem to solve, it's very easy to probably jump back. I think from IT, we're very kind of lateral people, often to provide a solution straight back to them. And I think what we need to make sure is diving into the detail to make sure that we're getting to the right issue and then solving that issue. You know, the classic quote around Henry Ford and the Model T, and he said, well, you know, I would have built faster horses because that's what people wanted. That wasn't really the issue. The issue was a better mode of transportation, and so that was born. So making sure that you're solving the right problem is key, because that may be something that is impeding your innovation getting further because you're not actually addressing the underlying issue.
Hi! I am Princess Unikitty, and I welcome you all to Cloud Cuckoo Land!
So there's no signs or anything. How does anyone know what not to do?
Here in Cloud Cuckoo Land, there are no rules. There's no government, no babysitters, no bedtimes, no frowny faces, no bushy mustaches, and no negativity of any kind.
You just said the word no like 1,000 times.
And there's also no consistency.
I hate this place.
He's clearly the best character, Batman. Clearly the best character. So in Cloud Cuckoo Land, you don't need to worry about hearing no, because everything is possible. However, in our world, we need to get used to hearing no, because not everything is possible. Obviously, as we go through an innovation cycle, or even in just normal technology world, we'll often hear no as we go through our process for innovation. And so, you know, having a thick skin and learning to deal with no's, or learning perhaps how to iterate a no into a yes through a further idea or further experimenting in test is key.
Well, we're still alive.
Yeah!
The double-decker couch. It wasn't totally pointless after all.
It's the one thing that stayed together.
I always believed in you, Emmett.
I don't mean to spoil the party, but does anyone else notice we're stuck in the middle of the ocean on this couch?
So, Emmett did save the day, which leads me to my kind of final point about speed is not always important. As you go through an idea, if you think about the power example that I gave earlier, or we've been doing, for example, a number of out-of-store tests for ordering coffee, ordering product out of the store online for 4 or 5 or 6 years. And nothing has really clicked with customers, and nothing's really clicked with employees and operations and having to deal with that. Now we're launching an app version where you can order your product via the app outside of the store and then go and pick it up. And nothing really changed around technology. Probably the process that we went through, the technology we're using hasn't really changed over time that much. But it was really at a point where consumers were ready for it and our business was ready for it. And so speed, I think, is one thing that you need to decide whether the innovation that you're looking at is needed now or whether it's one of those things that will evolve over time. And it may be that in 1, 2, 3 years' time, something will come out of it that is the next thing that, for your organization. So I think my point, I guess, is innovation and speed don't necessarily have to go together. You may still get to the end result after a certain period of time if it's the right idea. So if you were blown away by the Lego Movie and forgot what I said. Just a summary then. So these are the points that I talked about. Innovation is a process, not an activity. Make sure you have that around your innovation. Listening to your customers' employees. They use your product every day. They work with your product every day. They can offer a unique insight. Building a partnership with your business, making sure you're solving the right problem. Is the double-decker couch the right one for your business? Your first idea will lead to a better one. You need to iterate over time. Experiment and test. Learn to hear no, and speed is not always important. And then just finally, I've only got a few minutes left, just to cover off some of the, I guess, the challenges and the barriers that we've seen, in Starbucks over time. So the first one, system complexity. I mean, I think when you're introducing any new technology, in fact, any technology into your architecture, it may not be very easy to embed it into it, particularly new technology because of perhaps legacy. So ensuring you're just understanding at what point do you need to integrate that into your environment. You may be able to get through an ideation phase, a test phase, before actually even putting it into your environment. So being aware of that is key. Your organization. In many organizations, you might have an R&D or an innovation group, if you like. In Starbucks, we've had that in the past. We actually just do now innovation as part of our day-to-day work. I think it creates too many silos having a separate R&D organization, in my experience. And so we embed innovation in each of our teams. There are some kind of committees and working together that happens. But for me, I prefer to have it in each of the teams as opposed to a separate organization within IT. You may get some dissenting voices saying it's not part of IT innovation, technology innovation. Obviously, we would disagree. I think, as Dave said, okay, we've done ERP, we've done probably something in the cloud, we've done our commodity services, we've outsourced those. What are we going to do next? Are we going to do something sexy and cool? That's what we're going to do next. So it's definitely part of IT and definitely something that you should have in your organization. Not core to your business, you might get that from your stakeholders. It should be core to your business. And if you could look at examples like Apple, what were they doing in the last recession? Well, they were inventing the iPod and then the iPhone. And so, just because it's perhaps not core to your business now, and people can see it's core to your business now, making sure you're iterating and creating ideas for the future is key. It won't make any money. It probably won't make any money initially, and that's okay. I mean, I think the key is not to spend too much money, but it may not be proved to make money initially. And in the retail world, it can be quite difficult to prove that out, particularly with so many other things going on in the store at one point in time. But having the right sponsorship at the CFO or the CEO level helps us to kind of get through that. Sufficient funding. Again, you may not need a lot of money to do an innovation project. You can do a lot of work with vendors. They may be able to help you to get a pilot up and running, particularly if it's in a small number, like a store, for example. We can do a pilot in a store perhaps without even spending that much money at all. So you may not need to go and ask for a big chunk of money just to do a little bit of innovation within your organization. And the final message I guess I'll leave you with is do something. If you're not doing anything, then, I think that's a mistake. Just ideate, have some innovation. I think you see a lot of people doing hackathons these days. I think you're just taking ideas forwards to your business, even if 90% of them don't go anywhere. I think it helps the value of IT, and I'm sure one of those ideas, we have a lot of smart people in IT, I'm sure one of those ideas will come off. So I implore you to do something in your organization, and I'm sure it will be successful. So thank you. Thank you to Emmett, the Lego Movie, Warner Brothers. Apologies for the poor editing. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.